Turn up.
Okay. The girls want to know is back. What is going on, girl?
Hi, Booski.
What's happening?
What's happening with me? I just came back to LA. I came back like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
so I'm
2 weeks ago.
Kind of finally like getting my bearings after being gone for a month.
I feel that.
I went to St. Louis to film a cookbook, guys. Did not get the cookbook done.
Okay.
Not even close to done with this cookbook. I feel like you get on social media and you see people do stuff on social media and you're like, oh, I could do that. And so I follow all these people who have done cookbooks, but when they do cookbooks, they take a team. It's just me.
They just will never show you the whole setup.
Right. So I went home and I started working on the cookbook, and I did not take into account the fact that I have to sister and auntie and daughter and bestie.
A whole
and
family.
These are all like, exactly. These are all like very important roles to me. Like they're the priority. And so I definitely did not get as much done as I would have hoped, but that's okay.
It's I always think that too when I go home.
Pivot?
Like, I'm about to write, and then you get into
No,
your family, and you like, I didn't write a goddamn.
Not a thing. Not a
Well,
fucking
I just
thing.
got
But
like 2 days ago.
I tested recipes, and so that was
Okay,
actually
that's
yes,
good.
That you need to do because you want to make sure the stuff tastes good.
And you
I
had them to try it.
Exactly. I can write and like take photographs later. So
is your family vegan?
No.
That's even
That's
better.
the other thing. Yes.
So
So
then
they
you have
actually
to-
are really good recipes, guys, because children even like them.
It looked like from what I saw, they
Thank
was
you.
having a good time.
They had a good time.
The burgers looked like they was real burgers.
The burgers are bomb, okay?
I don't even eat real burger. I'm like, that looks like a good burger. I just got back 2 days ago.
2 days ago. How was Beyonce, bitch?
Girl, first of all,
Right.
you probably one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
A full rundown.
The Renaissance tour is smart.
Yeah.
She's inspirational. It's hands down. I mean, she's the queen for a reason, guys.
One of one. I'm the bar. Like,
First of all, her looks are different every show. So even if you're like, oh, I'm not, because I think for me, she was in, I don't know where she was before she got to Marseille, but it was a whole new outfit setup.
yeah.
Also, it rained and I don't remember. That's how good.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like drops was coming down like
Like the kind that
puddles.
splash a
Where
little bit.
people
when
just
it-
started running and like we were all like huddled over this thing, right? Everybody was like trying to hide on this thing because it was like raining real, real hard. And then she just said, ain't no rain gonna stop us on the mic before she came out. Everybody was like dead. Like everybody passed out. No, like I think even security was like, oh Lord. Like,
You see security on Instagram, they be vibing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best shows ever. I danced so hard. I left a toe, I think.
Damn.
In Marseille.
Honestly, a toe dedicated to Beyonce, I feel like that's a worthy sacrifice.
I gave with my look. People thought I was literally somebody because when you walk to Club Renaissance, you have to walk through like the regular seats.
The pedestrian.
Yes.
Pedestrian.
You have to walk through the pedestrians. And I walked through with my outfit was all metallic. I had pink metallic bustier and I had pink metallic boots. When I walked through, everyone just bust out cheering, right? So the people that I was with, that was with me were like, they were all like, whoa, what's happening? And so my friend just started filming me because they were like, yes,
I'm in my celebrity era. Thank
and so
you.
Taraji P. Henson was like literally behind us. So when they were cheering for me, she was like, what is going on?
Love it.
So then like, finally when we get to the side, she was just like, girl, okay. And it was like,
you know what it is? I
great.
just feel like
Good time.
people really enjoy a good look.
It was a good look.
And LEWK, for those who are not
was
in
a
the know,
look, baby.
We love a look.
It was a look.
Like, if I see somebody outside, I don't give a fuck where we at. If I'm outside and I see something, you could be in Target and you're giving, I'm going to let you know you're giving.
It was one of those events where everybody was like, yes, bitch. Everywhere we went, it was great. But it was
that's the energy I feel like of her show in general.
Good time.
Yeah.
The show was amazing. It is 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But it is amazing.
So wear flats.
Well, I didn't.
Okay.
And by the time the end of the concert was done, I was
why
dragging one leg.
You donated a toe. Okay.
I donated a toe.
Yeah.
But it was great. France was amazing. France was great.
Okay.
We went everywhere. We went from Paris to Marseille, from Marseille to Saint-Tropez, from Saint-Tropez to Cannes and back around. So I saw all of it. It was a good time. It was fabulous. It was hot as hell.
Yeah.
I definitely got sunburn and heat stroke.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. It was a great time.
I love this for you. I love a little
Good
Parisian European vacation, like with a little dash of Beyonce to set it off. That's
and I
fabulous.
packed for the gods.
You packed for every occasion. She
Let me tell
gave
you
on her
something.
social media. Y'all need to just go check it out. She
It was
really
a good
gave.
time.
Yeah.
Every day.
You definitely gave, girl.
People in my hotels were I came back, I think the next day after the Beyonce concert, and everybody at the hotel was like, you're the girl from the concert. And I was like, that'll be me. They were like,
You're
you
like,
fucking
"Hi,
cute.
do you want
It
an
was like,
autograph?
Basically, it was a good time though. But it's the girls want to know are back,
Hi,
y'all.
besties.
Okay, what do the girls want to know?
Everything.
They sure do, because there's a lot going on. Today's episode, we're gonna get into independent women.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting because that was one of my favorite songs growing up with. As we get into Beyond, right? Remember how hard that went? Throw your hands
up at me.
And then you get older and you be like,
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I need help. I can't do it no more.
I don't want to.
I feel like independence is something that most Black women grow up with in general, which could be a gift and a curse for us.
Yes, we are the doers. We are the planners. We are the executioners.
Oh,
Not executioners,
child.
Executors.
Yes.
That is two different things. Okay.
But
yeah, like we do the things. Like we a lot of times if we drop our hands and say fuck it, it just won't get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone's doomed. I mean, look at Jonathan Majors. It took a Black woman to bring them back together. Thank you, Megan. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on them, but that is the funniest.
Don't know why she's doing that, and I hate this for her.
mean, you know, a rebound be looking shady. It always got on a brown jacket. No, I'm just kidding.
I needed never to look this shady.
I mean, you know, I don't know their relationship,
and I
but
want
I
him
do
to
wish them
stop
the best.
wearing these wrinkled jackets. It's really pissing me off.
I'm gonna do another video because I noticed after the one I did, it was wrinkled, and I'm like, I have to circle back.
Wrinkled. It's 3 sizes too big. The sleeves are rolled in a very
giving civil rights,
frustrating
baby.
way. I hate it. I hate it so much. But also, like, I just want women to understand, like, if a guy has any kind of like allegations against him,
it's tricky.
It's not even tricky. I don't want to be involved. I want every woman to understand that if a man has some kind of an allegation, you don't got to believe it to be true or false.
True.
Just know that this is not a man you probably don't want to really be
You should wait it out.
with. You need to wait that out.
But this is why I'm saying, like, I don't want to say that's the case, but like Hollywood is tricky, and some parts of me just, I don't know, my gut is like, she getting. I mean, it's a I don't know. It just looks to me. I don't want to go steer off from independent women, but it looks very PR-ish.
It's giving PR for sure, but I don't think that. You know what? Look, let me get out these people business.
I don't want to be. I don't want to like bring down their love.
It's just
on
like
a positive note.
To my soul.
I hope that they're having a great time. I can't stop laughing at it.
I can't. I'm like, it has irked me so bad because I just feel like there are when stuff like
there
this
were
happens,
other choices.
There were other choices.
She's a beautiful woman.
I think when there are allegations like the ones that are
going on
against him, you as a woman have to look at the fact that even if you don't think it's true, if it is true, it could possibly happen to you in the future. But 2, or B, like the idea that it wouldn't happen to you is absolutely, it's rooted in internalized misogyny. And that's what people do not understand. So people feel like, okay, well, this guy has a history of abuse because there's so many people in Hollywood.
Other people?
No, not him.
Oh, I'm like, I don't know.
But just in general, like when men have a history of abuse, women will continue to date them. And then they're shocked when the person abuses them because the thought pattern is this wouldn't happen to me.
Ooh, that's another topic.
It's another topic. But that thought pattern is
I just had this conversation
it's misogyny. It's you feeling like, well, I'm different from this other girl. But to an abuser, all the girls are the same. You just haven't done anything yet that makes him feel like it's okay or like he wants to. Like, and the thing is, I shouldn't even say you haven't done anything because you don't even have to do anything. An abuser just don't abuse. That's what they do.
That's why I'm out here finna be who I'm is.
You done got me on a rant, girl. My edge is about to sweat. I'm so irritated.
Because men that are terrible, that is one thing.
They terrible. They're gonna be terrible to everybody.
But they be coming up and they be getting other.
They
people.
really do.
Just...
That's also misogyny.
Okay.
Yeah.
On an independent woman conversation, I'm gonna go into my story first. I feel like I was definitely raised to be independent, but I feel like it is a curse for me now. I feel like now I don't know how to let anybody, if you do have a man, I don't know how to let him lead. And I don't know how to let nobody tell me nothing.
I don't even feel like know how to let a person lead. I let you lead.
I mean, you gonna let a man lead if you feel in your gut he a good setup.
You could lead, but I'm not about to be on a fucking leash for a man who I think is a
No.
Dumbo.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, like I'm just not.
It.
And the idea of like letting people
But there are a lot of men currently, which I see so many podcasts right now on TikTok where there are men that are very concerned that women are masculine, as they'd say. That's what they're calling independent women now. We're not considered independent anymore. We're called masculine. And that is scaring them. They're like, women are just too masculine now. They don't know how to like listen to us and do things or whatever. Everybody wants to like, and then like I saw recently Dr. Umar was on a podcast. I saw that. And he was saying, well, he went in. He went in.
But a broken clock gonna be right twice a day.
He was like, first of all, y'all ain't doing nothing to step up, so they got to be. And I was like, come on now, church.
Yes.
But then at the same time, he got 8 wives. So I was concerned.
He do got 8 wives, but you know what? You don't never hear I don't feel like I heard none of his wives talking shit about him not stepping up and providing.
Might be true.
Because I saw something the other day where it was like this polyamorous. It wasn't even
Why
a throuple.
Is this a thing? Is it on TikTok?
It was on, I saw it on Twitter. It was probably on TikTok.
Oh, maybe they gone that far. I keep seeing them on my TikTok.
But they was all paying bills.
Oh, I don't know
and
that
so
far.
For me, I just feel like if we're going to be sister wives, I don't want to work. I don't want to contribute.
Bitch, I ain't being nobody's sister to nobody.
Right,
I
correct.
got brothers.
However,
and that's about all I'm going to be able to do.
However, right, if we're talking about being sister wives,
that's crazy.
I think the original context for sister wivery, wifery is that you don't have to work. You provide. You take care of the home, and then the man provides.
I feel like if you're gonna make that choice,
like ain't that what is it Mormons that do that?
Oh, I don't know.
Do they have a lot of wives?
Mormons do that?
Mormons have a lot of wives? Yeah. So the Mormons, I feel like, in that case, the women, I don't feel like the women are going to work. You mean to tell me I have to share you and also pay bills? Please fuck off.
Weird.
I'm not doing, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. But also, I to your point about Dr. Umar, it is the responsibility of men to fix the culture and climate of the relations between men and women, because it is never the responsibility of the oppressed, and women are oppressed despite what people may think. It's never the responsibility of the oppressed to fix their oppression. The purpose of or the onus of that lays on the people who are doing the oppressing.
Right.
And it's not just Black men who are doing the oppressing, obviously, but if the relations are strained in the Black community and Black women are oppressed, Black men are actually responsible for fixing
that's
that.
what he was saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
That's just what it is. And it doesn't mean that Black men are not oppressed in their own way, but there's intersectionality that exists.
Right. Yes.
And as such, we not the culprits. Like, we not gonna fix this. We
also
are the way
feel
we
like
are because of the shit that we've had to deal with.
Nowadays, women are making more money than men. A lot of my friends that I know are very successful. And a lot of women have gotten in a state of mind where they're like, independence is like okay with them. Like, I think that's why those guys, I don't know who they are, that run that podcast are so angry. Like, nobody's being dumb for us anymore.
Yeah, like legit, they saying the quiet part out loud, but that's what it is.
The independence has reached a different level. I will say that. My mom was definitely an independent woman. I mean, I was raised by a single mother who handled a household by herself and did a lot of stuff. So you learn from your mother. But I think now with independence, though, at least this is my take. I feel like some of my friends that are married, and that is a goal for me, you kind of got to like find that balance.
Well, you do.
I feel like if you're too independent,
yeah.
it does come off in a way where a man really doesn't know his place now.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I could do it. You lifting the car.
No, not lifting
you doing the most. And like, it has to be some kind of balance.
I think there's a key for every lock. I don't think any woman needs to change.
Key for the lock. Let's go.
Like, I don't think any woman needs to change who she is to accommodate a man. Like, if you are a woman who is hyper, like, independent, and you find another man who is also hyper independent, that hyper independence in him will allow you to soften a bit and allow you to let him kind of like take the reins and take care of things.
That's facts. Okay, when you find one that really get you together, you will buy a nice dress.
Yeah, like
you will
but the
take
thing
your
is,
tool belt
exactly.
off.
I think
I left my tool belt in Paris,
the builder.
Okay, no, I do feel like though the dynamics now. But the question for that I would like to ask you, I don't know if men really think they truly want her to be independent. I think they think they do.
They don't. Can I tell you?
And then when they get that, they're like, this has just been my experience.
So there are men who are comfortable with independent women, who are comfortable with women who make their own money, who travel, who do all the things that they need to do. Like, there are men who are certainly not threatened by the, like, having your shit togetherness of women. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? And then there are men who are very challenged by that because a lot of their self-worth is directly tied to their ability to provide. And so not only can you not provide,
that's my next thing.
You cannot provide, but also you don't have really anything else that you're offering. And so this little money that you throw on the table, okay, well, I got my money too. So
because I hear from women that are extremely successful and that are independent that they say the more they become successful, the less
the smaller
options.
The pool.
Yes, the smaller the pool, the less men that are chasing them down, the less options they have for dates. And that's a normal thing. Like, very successful women usually have a hard time finding a companion.
I mean, I don't even feel like, I wouldn't call us hyper successful at this point, but we have attained a certain level of success and just independence in our lives. And the dating pool is really, it's a puddle.
Ciao.
It's a puddle. And it's not necessarily that there are not attractive men. There are plenty of attractive
it's the submarine
men.
that has not been found.
No, it's
over.
Debris on the bottom of the ocean.
It's at the bottom.
But yeah, like it's a thing where you have, because you have this dating experience, there are certain things that need to be checked off in order for you to even entertain it. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not able to check those boxes.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is we become very comfortable just saying, you know what, I'm gonna just chill by myself.
Yeah.
Because I have found that it is just much more peaceful for me to just be alone. I have moments where I'm like, I really need a hug.
I hate it.
It's frustrating. And I definitely have moments. I'm listening to this book called
Carry Me.
Your Food on Brain.
Carry me. I'm done, bitch. I'm tapped out. Clock the fuck out.
But the thing is, I get it. And I have moments like that. But I'm listening to this book called Your Brain on Food. Okay. And it talks about the different chemicals that are released or stimulated by certain foods you eat. And it talked about, I was just like, I don't know. Anyway, it talks about how certain foods, I think blueberries, just different fruits and vegetables release oxytocin, which is like the love feeling. It's like the love hormone. It basically gives you a little bit of a it stimulates your endorphins, I think.
Okay.
And your like dopamine, and it comes from human interaction. It comes from meeting somebody you like, from building food in general. There are foods that
seems like when I eat McDonald's, I'll be smart again. I don't know.
No, but is it flavonoids? I think it's flavonoids. I'll figure it out before I put it in the thing. For me, baby. But no, it literally stimulates certain hormones in your body, and then those hormones travel to the brain and communicate, and it releases happy hormones. It releases happy endorphins and dopamine and like all these things. And it talked about how a lot of times if you're not able to get what you need, then obviously you might find that you're feeling a little depressed, but you also get oxytocin from hugs.
Oh, and I had somebody tell me that once. You're supposed to have a certain amount of hugs per day. I forget.
And so
it was this crazy dude I was dating told me that.
But it's the truth though, because when you get hugs, your brain releases oxytocin, and oxytocin is really healthy for you. It's a hormone that actually brings you happiness. And so a lot of times, I say this to my sister all the time. Well, not all the time, but whenever I'm like struggling, if I'm going through something, all my family is in St. Louis, right? And so I'll be like bawling my eyes out on the phone to her, and I'm just like, I really just need a hug. And if I don't have anybody who can give me a hug, then I'm really just kind of like
20 seconds
having to self-soothe. Yeah, but it's really, you want to hug in those moments because it actually does release a chemical in the brain.
Is that why everybody in LA is so sad?
Probably because we alone.
We alone. Listen.
Yes, and so knowing that now,
and then you don't want to get a bogus hug.
I don't even, well, it has to be from somebody who you actually have a connection with, or who you're building a connection with. But understanding that
bogus hug
definitely like put the puzzle together for me of like why I'm always like, I just need a hug.
Yeah.
when I'm sad. Like, it's the only thing I want is a hug. And if you are not in a place, like if you're an independent woman like myself and you live alone, it can be really difficult to get the things that you need.
Me and my mom be getting into mad arguments about independent women shit. Cause she be like, you need to love yourself. Be with yourself. I'm like, bitch, I be outside by myself all the time. I be a happy hour by myself. I be at the gym by myself.
Yeah.
I be on the hike by myself. I'm cooking by myself.
I do everything by myself.
At this point, I'm talking to my motherfucking self, bitch. I'm crazy. Help me.
I do everything by myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. After a while, the independent woman shit is like, you're not having a good time. Like, I'm successful. Like, yes, like I literally just had this argument with somebody in Paris. I'm successful. I'm doing great in my life. My career is thriving in a really great way and I'm having a good time. But like, it ain't that fun when you ain't got nobody to share it with.
So
I could be independent as hell.
I think I'm probably on the other side of that where I'm like enjoying this time. I do have moments where I'm like, I really want to hug. I really would love to meet somebody and like have the love of my life and we just go off and like travel the world together. That would be great.
Absolutely.
However, having like done the dating thing, I think of the mindset that I would rather be alone and I'm comfortable with this because I make myself happy, right?
Right.
I've gotten to the point now where because I've been in situations with people and they're disrupting my peace, that I'm just much more comfortable staying in my peace by myself and knowing that when whoever comes along that like fits into my life in an organic way, when they come along, I'll be happy to have them. But until then, I'm gonna just be Gucci. I'm gonna find my happiness in other ways. Yeah. And
I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't had moments in my life where I've been happy with just being with myself because I've had those. And I think that's why I'm in that space now where I'm like, okay, enough is enough, bitch. Like, oh my God, I'm on vacation with myself. Like, come on, bitch. Like, enough is enough. Like, I can't. You're like, look at us taking a picture with your vibrator. Like, no.
Oh my God.
I literally haven't had it with being independent to this point. Like, I feel like what I'm learning though, being so independent so long does put you in that state of mind. Mm-hmm. It makes it more difficult for you to find a partner.
It makes you less likely to settle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I find it that now that is where I'm like, bitch, I'm the drama. Like, after,
I don't think so.
Not for everything. Not for completely everything, but you do become to a point where now you're mad nitpicky. They could be trying mad hard and trying to do the most, but you be like, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. This is too much. Don't you like that? Why are you looking like that? Your pants, like, I find it that when you're like extremely...
Look, it's me trying to find a problem about being nitpicky about the person you're supposed to spend the very most time with in your life.
I don't know. I find it too, like watching some of my friends that are married, like none of this shit is perfect. You're going to
It's not going to be perfect.
There's going to be something.
Yes.
You're gonna have to like
be stuff
that
you're
something.
willing to compromise on though. And I think the thing when we're talking about being nitpicky, I don't think people being nitpicky about the fact that you like to wear orange shoes and I hate the color orange. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
People being nitpicky about the fact that you sometimes say low-key misogynistic stuff and it pisses me off.
Okay. Yeah, well that's another.
Right. But or you're being nitpicky about the fact that you sometimes don't take my feelings into consideration. And I don't think that's nitpicky. I think a lot of times what ends up happening is you get a very, very small sign very early. And because you've done the thing, I've been around a little bit at this point, those very small signs are like, oh, big picture, that's not going to work. I'm good.
Also, I feel like being an independent woman, you attract men that are like looking for their mama.
Okay, so I actually figured out.
Mama is independent.
I figured out why this happens.
You like this has been my experience. I find it that a lot of this is my revelation recently. I think that's the right word, but like I feel like the type of men that are attracted to me obviously have grown up in households where their fathers weren't there and their mother was, independent. So they're attracted to a woman that has her own and fights for herself and has certain things. And then you're like, how is it you like my type, but you're like a baby boy?
Yeah.
You're like a weirdo. So like you not necessarily, I don't even want to say they're a weirdo, but like you're attracted to the light of her being able to carry her own, but like you're not
doing it.
Yeah.
I remember I was dating this guy and I had gotten a job where, because you said something earlier and you were like, it doesn't seem like they really want independent women. And I thought about this. And, okay, so I'm dating this guy and I got a job and basically like the job was going to be like a significant pay raise.
Okay.
And his first statement, it was congratulations, but then immediately after he said, "You're not gonna need me anymore."
Ooh, I've been told that so many times, bitch. I'm tired. I've been told that.
That's so weird.
So many times.
But also, like, I never, at that point, we had been kind of splitting the bills, but like, we didn't need
that term you just said almost made me throw up in my hand. Like,
yeah, but I think this is a lot of men are resting their hat on being needed financially. And so when you're in a space where you've gotten to the point where you can provide for yourself, then men are coming in and they're like, I love that you're independent, but because they've not done self-work, it's hard for them to identify what else they're bringing to the table.
I've been hit with that so many times where... Girl, like, okay, a lot of times I get guys who be like, ooh, look what she does for a living. This is cool. I get to tell all my friends that I date this. And then they'll like date me for a long time, have a good old time, and we be having a good old time. We percolating everywhere. Like, we lit.
I love that y'all be doing
we
this.
having a good old time. And then they be like, ooh, shit, she's successful. This is, then they get to acting weird. Then all of a sudden you like, well, who... Huh? Well, you don't have, your self-esteem is low. You never showcased that before.
I remember.
I've had that so many times.
Yep, the self-esteem thing specifically. I remember.
Where now all of a sudden you like, who is this little boy in the room? And he wearing a diaper. And that's how I vision it.
And you gotta
you like, what?
Figure out how to
he
disengage.
Ain't the cool dude no more. You like, your chain melted?
Yeah.
That was an outfit?
It's really like exhausting. I feel like I say something is exhausting every episode, but that specifically is exhausting. I remember I was dating a guy and actually I feel like you were there. We had a dinner party. I had a dinner party.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he like stayed in the room the entire so there's conversation about how some guys will ruin your birthday or they like specifically ruin events that you have. They just find a reason to be annoyed.
Oh yeah.
He stayed in the room the entire time.
I don't know if I remember that.
Like and then he came out and he like interacted a little bit, but for the most part, he was very standoffish for the entire thing. And I just remember feeling so frustrated because for me, I'm a very social person.
Right. Yeah.
So like I like my alone time, but if I'm outside, I'm outside. Like,
right.
Let's have a good time.
Let's talk.
And so my partner needs to embody that.
Right.
And when I'm having an event, I need you to work the room with me. Like I expect for us to be doing this together, and him staying in the room the whole time. I just was so like, what the fuck?
Was he not always like that?
No.
Okay. So there was actually something.
There was actually something, and he just kind of like was annoyed. He had picked a fight with me earlier that day about something very insignificant, and then you just carried that attitude into the party. But it was just like one of those things where I'm having a moment. Going to be on him. Yeah, I'm having a moment, and you have found a way to make it about you. And so instead of me having a good time, and I did have a good time, but I also was just kind of like, what the fuck is this fucker doing? Like,
I've had some of those.
Yeah, it was just extremely frustrating for me. And I think this was one of those situations where
that's narcissistic.
We're compatible in the first couple weeks, months, and then I started to see some things. And
girl, when the curtains get revealed, you like, who is this?
But this where you get nitpicky though, because this is not stuff that I'm gonna put up with, and so I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, let me just give it a little bit more time. But I knew just from a couple little things that I'd seen pretty early on, oh, this is not gonna work. But I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't want to end it too soon. I don't want to be too like rushed in making a decision. And so I saw it out. But you know when you know. And those little things that you feel like you're being nitpicky about are going to turn into bigger things at some point.
But haven't you noticed as being a successful independent woman that you get one or the other? You're either going to get the baby boy version who is very excited to date you, and they eventually showcase that they're like, oh, they feel small because you're like such a big personality or you're very successful. Or you get the ones that give the bare minimum because they see that you're pouring into yourself. So they don't feel like they got to pour into you. I also get those too. I get the ones that are like, they seek a girl like you because they're like, you know what? I ain't got to really do the most for her because she got this going on. All I got to do is do the bare minimum of this because she has all of these other things. There are a lot of men that seek women like us to do that as well. You don't find the balance. And then when I look at the T of life, okay, successful men, how often do they date other successful women?
I mean, we got like, you just came from a Beyonce concert.
It's small. I'm not saying it's not there. But I'm saying it's small.
I think
you know what I'm trying to say.
I do know what you're trying to say.
I'm not saying that they're not outside. They outside, but like it's about 5 of them.
I definitely mine has not been so much of like a one or the other type of situation. I have absolutely met men who like could have been husbands to somebody else.
Okay.
But I just again, like sometimes I do be nitpicking, like, why you got these orange shoes on?
Not why. Back to the orange shoes.
Like sometimes I am nitpicky,
okay.
But I also just understand that I don't want to learn to like somebody.
Yeah.
For me, it needs to come pretty organically. Like I need to see you in real life, and it needs to be like magnetism.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just very uninterested. And there's not a lot you can do. Yeah, but there's not, for me, just knowing myself, there's not a lot that one can do unless we're in a work environment or I'm around you all the time that is going to allow me to learn to like you.
Okay.
I'm just not that person.
Okay.
And so yes, I absolutely have met great men who would have been amazing husbands and providers, but they were not for me.
I feel like, I'll meet guys that are great husbands and good providers, but then there's always something that you're like, okay, I have to decide if I want to work with him on this. Because I feel like with men, they're just different than we are. Like they don't usually take the time to be like, this is weird about me. Let me fix it. Like they be like, it's fine. Until they meet the right woman, it's like, that is not okay. You putting, like you said, the contacts behind the bed isn't normal, sir. You should probably get help. But like they don't really necessarily do that. It's always usually too, because I have brothers. So I've watched the transition with them and how their wives have like made them better men. Like, I don't know, like, for example, my sister-in-law was always like, yeah, I did a lot of stuff with your brother. Like, we've done books and relationship counseling and all kinds of things. Like, we be fixer up. Like, I don't know. That's my concern now. I'm like, as an independent woman, I'm like, ooh, there's certain parts of you that you're going to have to, like, alter in a way if you're going to, like, want to have this. Not saying I'm going to dumb myself down, but I'm just like,
I want y'all
I don't know.
No.
You like, it's not gonna. I feel like as I keep seeing how this works, I think there's more to it.
I think you can compromise, certainly, but there are hard lines and there are soft lines.
Yeah,
there are things that you compromise on, and there are things that you have to stick to your guns on.
Yeah,
because these are the things that are ultimately going to make sure that you have a soft life. Facts. But if I am compromising on my hard lines, that just means that I'm choosing you over me. And if you're choosing your partner over yourself in a relationship, it's never going to work. So I'm definitely not a person who is ever going to be comfortable saying that there are some things you're going to have to sacrifice if those things are your hard lines.
Because, no, I'm not saying sacrifice your hard lines.
No.
I'm just saying like when you're like really like, I'm independent. This is what I want. This is how I want it to look. If you were I don't know how far you're going to get with I. That's just been my experience. That's been my experience.
I think and the thing is this, nobody's coming into, right? Like we're, as women, also going to be coming into the relationship, and there are going to be things that we need to work on.
As an independent.
Of course, we go to the therapy and we do the things and we read the books and we journal. We do all the things, but still, there's a lot of stuff that you can't heal until you're partnered, right? Like,
right.
You can only go so far by yourself, and then somebody else needs to come along to help you heal that other part. And so, yes, you're going to go.
You think somebody else got to come around and do it?
Yeah, you can only heal so much of your relationship trauma alone.
Ooh, really?
Yes. There are certain aspects of relationship trauma that you absolutely work on. You work on your distrust, you work on your insecurity, you work on
with the person?
No, when you're alone.
Okay.
You work on your communication style, you work on your, whatever you need to work on to become the best possible version of yourself before you get into a relationship.
This week alone, I was like, you need help. You gotta get fixed. You're not good. You thought you had it. you fumbled, bitch.
But the thing is, once you get into a relationship and there's human interaction, it's like driving a car. You're great on a test drive. Like if I'm on a test drive when you're like, there's no one else on the road.
Right.
I'm great. I'm fine. I can do this. I'm fucking NASCAR. But when there's other people on the road, you have to account for those other people. And so you've done all this practice driving and you're great by yourself. But then when there's someone else in the car or there's someone else on the road next to me, I have to also consider this other person on the road.
I'm considerate, but I'm dramatic.
Yeah, like
and like recently I'm just like, how much do you want to take that out? It's just us. I realized like literally I'm like mad dramatic and like when I'm not like when I've calmed down and I'm like not in that zone, I'm like, okay, well, you probably could have approached that differently.
I don't think it's that wrong.
You probably didn't need to kick open the door like that.
Dramatic.
I mean, you could have just opened it. You ain't need to do all that. But
it's fine to be dramatic.
I mean, I'm at that age now where I'm like, look, this is me, because that's how they be coming.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up with just
baggage,
a mess,
baggage claim.
You take off his chain. You like, what? Ugh, I didn't know your knees were there. I'm sick of it. But
I don't know. I think you do everything. You do all the things you can by yourself, and then when you get together with somebody, you heal the parts of yourself that you cannot heal alone.
I would never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it though. Like if I'm saying that, like I am a person who has anxious attachment and avoidant attachment. So
not the two of them together.
That's very common.
What?
Yeah. So basically,
that's like saying you go but leave but stay.
Well, no. So anxious attachment is like
where you going?
I can be very like connected to like when is this person going to contact me again? Like if I like them.
I have that.
Very connected to like just the energy of it to the point where it's disruptive to my day. And so that's why I was reading that book.
I got that. Like I've been listening to Abraham Hicks all day trying to get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, baby.
That's why I was reading that book, Codependent No More. Because I was like, and it stems from...
But this is what I discovered about myself recently. That I was like...
Wait, hold on. Let me get this out.
Let
me get this out. It stems from childhood trauma,
of course,
avoidant attachment, anxious attachment. So mine specifically stems from my father leaving. Like middle of the night, mom wakes us up, says, "Come say bye to your dad," and then he leaves, literally. And he had been in the house with us. We had all grown up with our dad for 10 years. Yeah, so 10 years, you're leaving. This is a very like, what the fuck is this? And so the anxious attachment style comes in where if I really like a person, which is very rare, then I'm so anxious about if it's going to last. When are they going to call me? Did I do something? I'm overthinking everything.
Okay.
But then the flip side of that is I'm avoidant in the sense that I'll get close to people and then I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. So it takes me a really long time to form relationships because I can be very closed off. Because I had this really important, significant relationship in my life where the person walked away, my dad.
And I think I'm going to reach that point. I'm sick of everybody.
Yeah. Man, I don't even think it's like a thing that most people understand about themselves. But when you understand that about yourself, then you have to do the work to try to unlearn some of those negative patterns.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm toxic. I may have discovered that recently. Okay. I can be great. Okay. I can be great, but if someone does something shitty to me, the horns will come out and she's terrible. I don't know. It's like a City Girls comes on immediately when I start crying. It's like I go outside and everyone's going to pay.
I feel like I'm the exact opposite.
I turn into a city girl immediately when my heart gets broken.
It's
like, move out the way. I'm about to be a man. Yeah. And I don't know why, because it always ends in the same result every time. And it's always like, why do you do this? But yeah.
I definitely, if my heart is broken, I'm definitely going to go into a shell and like do the ooh and like get better. But then I'm also, I think a person who I'm going to say what I need to say. So if you really try it, you're going to get some vileness from me. And then you're probably never going to talk to me again. Like And so I don't know. I think that you cope however you got to cope and you do whatever you got to do and you just like don't. You try to be a good person. You try to heal.
But that's the thing. When you independent and you let somebody come into your vortex, as Abraham Hicks would say, that's the result of that.
Right. So
now you're like, I let you come into my kingdom. You gonna act a fool.
I remember. So this is what I'm saying. You gonna get some vileness from me. I remember I stopped talking to this guy and I told him it wasn't gonna work. I told him why it wasn't gonna work. I was very honest with him.
Yeah.
And he sent me a text message that was so rude.
Oh, you can't tell a man why it ain't gonna work.
Well,
that's when they just go crazy.
The thing is, like, the only time if I'm talking to somebody and we actually are like really dating, I feel like it's important to be honest with people.
Oh, of course.
You have
speak with intention.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like I want to make sure that if I'm walking away from you, you not feeling like it's just coming out of left field. Like these are the things that have frustrated me.
Definitely.
Yes. And like anytime that I have stopped talking to somebody, I have tried to do that unless they just really on some fuck shit and I just gotta walk away from my own mental peace.
Yeah.
But with this guy, I told him what was going on and he sent me the rudest fucking text.
I
am kind, but I think
you smart. You kind.
People mistake my kindness for weakness, I think.
Yeah.
And they also don't understand that a lot of me not saying anything is not me not saying anything because I don't know what to say. Or because I'm too timid or meek to say anything. Is because I don't want to lacerate you. Like, I'm doing you a favor. And so when he sent that text, I read it and I was like, okay. Let me just let you know real quick. Baby, I sent that man a text back. And it was the kind of text that you have to open. Like, you click on it. It comes into your iMessages like this big. And then you open it into another screen and you got to scroll. It was one of them kind of text messages because you
not the Bible read.
Very fucked up. And I just itemized everything. These are the issues. Because I don't want you to ever walk away from this shit thinking that you have somehow been wronged. I have given you ample opportunity to fix the things that needed to be fixed. And you have like ignored my pleas. Yeah. And at this point, you're angry that I'm ending things, but you're angry at you. Not me.
Yeah.
And so take that vile shit somewhere else. And when I sent it, of course, I got phone calls after. We're not about to talk about this. I've said what I need to say. I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't had anything like that. I've actually like definitely have matured. Like the old me would key a car, you know?
Oh no.
I've done that. I'm sorry, I won't admit it. Like back in my like
I ain't touching nobody
early 20s.
Because I don't want nobody to touch my shit.
I was definitely like bananas. I would
Okay.
I peed on some clothes, you know.
Like, okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
You know, I've grown. I've changed.
Okay. I'm happy to hear that.
I have. I've changed. I think, Jesus Christ, in the last probably 8 years now, I just be like, I be disappearing. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm a full ghoster, but I'll definitely be like, you could probably send me a message. And if I'm like through and I know that I don't want this drama anymore, I'm probably not going to reply. So most likely you're just going to get blocked and I'm just not going to talk to you anymore.
I'm definitely
just to
not going to
protect my own peace.
I'm going to let people know. But
I haven't been good at that. Yeah. I think I need to start. I think I was telling you this earlier. Like after like anger management, I've gotten to this space where like now I don't really know how to approach people on the check now because I'd be afraid that I'm probably about to be like Carrie or some shit. Like I feel like I'm the Phoenix from X-Men.
Oh, okay.
I think that because she like floats up and like
okay.
I'm always in fear of like what's gonna happen and like when someone takes me to that or if I reach that, I like freak out. Like I had a situation like that recently with someone that I'm casually dating and like they set me off to a point where it was like she knocked on the door in my mind like you ready to turn up? And I freaked out and I was like, I gotta go because I feel like you're gonna have me in jail. Like I have to ride out. Like I gotta exit.
But it's good you know that though,
right? Because I mean, I've had moments. I'm not her now, and that's the problem though. That's the thing now. Like I have this conversation with my mother. Like now, who I've become, I have to watch it because sometimes I don't know if I'm like being manipulated or if I'm being too nice or if I'm accepting too much because I don't know how to identify now. Like I'm still learning.
I just be asking.
Now
you just gotta. I think you gotta really get into your investigative bag.
Yeah,
So a motherfucker giving me.
I don't know the difference. Like I used to be 0 to 100. Now I'm like I don't know how to do it without being like
what I
crazy.
Found
like so I don't do it at all.
That people will do, and I'm about to give y'all some tea. Hopefully there's no men watching this.
They finna be like, these bitches
but because
I just said I pissed on somebody's
something
shit.
that the girls can do. No, but I don't want them to know what this is. But like, if you find that you're talking to somebody and you can't get a read on them, just don't say anything. Just keep.
I mean, I'm like that now.
They'll
anyway.
talk into
They'll
a
tell
hole.
them.
They'll talk themselves.
What I was gonna say earlier that I've
yeah.
noticed, and I've been questioning this all week.
Or ask them to say more. Say more.
That works, but bitch, I've realized I fuck around. I don't know what's going on with me, but my gut is real strong on a psychic tip.
Okay, mine too.
It be certain stuff, like it'll come into me to dream in dreams.
I told you.
Or it'll come to me and like I don't like weird stuff to the point where I'll be like freaked out by myself. Like something happened recently to where, how do I explain this? I was laying down next to a certain person and I had this assumption that there was this other person involved. And I heard while they were laying next to me scrolling through their phone, I heard them watching a story and it was a bunch of girls. And I was like, he watching his other bitch. It just came. I'm asleep though. I'm not even up. Like I'm in a slumber. I'm like
watching it. Where are your AirPods, sir? Like,
but in my mind,
have a little class.
But it doesn't. But here's the thing: it doesn't even matter. You could just be scrolling through any kind of story. I don't know why my gut was like, "This is a."
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Lo and behold, Bad Al. That was what that was.
You hate to see it.
And it's like, but that's been happening to me a lot lately. Not just with particularly like that situation, but a lot of situations. Like I had a gut feeling that my job was going to end while I was in Paris. And it literally, the next day, I got an email like, we regret to inform you the company is gone the fuck down.
Damn.
Like, I was like, I don't know if I'm manifesting this or
no,
if
but I think when
this is like
you've
happening.
been heavy meditating, right?
A lot.
I think when you are heavy into meditation, it definitely opens up. Is it your third eye?
Maybe.
I feel like it opens up your third eye and you can kind of sense and see a lot more clearly because mine is absolutely tap the fuck in. Like I'll set a timer. I'll set a timer for something. Like I'll set a timer to take a power nap and wake up. I'll open my eyes and then the alarm goes off.
It's so wild.
Very weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like open your eyes and maybe 1 or 2 seconds will pass and the alarm goes off. And I'm like, okay, bitch, like you really like about this life.
Excuse me. It's scary though. It's really scary because then now you're like, okay, if I'm like figuring out everything before it happens, like, well then what is this?
Well, I just feel like if that's the case, we could just manifest like $1 million.
I've been trying. It don't never work that way.
It's gonna come.
I be manifesting the bullshit, but when I be like, let me get trillions of dollars, they be like, how about
it's coming?
A cheating ass nigga?
No.
Instead,
it's coming. No,
like
I remember I used to like talk to this guy, and I would. This is so funny that you say this. I would dream about him. We would just go through these phases where we're talking and we wouldn't talk and talk and we wouldn't talk. And I would dream about him. And then the next day he would text me.
I've had that happen.
Yeah. And so I just feel like when you have that like intuition, the shit really be tapped in for a reason. Like it's telling you something. So I think if you can tap into like figuring out if a man is cheating on you, certainly you could tap into like money. Yeah. Like certainly I could tap into.
I gotta figure out how to tap in right.
Bank account. Yeah, like I just think the wires are crossed. We just need to like unplug a few things and replug them.
I gotta figure out where the cords go.
Unplug it from the relationship and plug it into the bank. This is where we need to go. Yeah,
Lord, I gotta get the money out the vortex into the bank
deposit. Yeah, like that's where we need to go.
I mean, we are there. I'm definitely trying to be more present in my life and just be like, okay, the things that you want are there. It just don't look the way you want it to look. That's the thing for me. But I feel like being so independent though, in my life now, I find it to where like it's a gift and a curse, at least for me. I'm not saying this for everybody. For me, I find it that I've been so independent for so long that now that I want it, I feel like I want it too much. And that's why it's like I gotta have the resistance because I'm just like, I don't want to be alone anymore. Yeah. And I also don't want to be a cat lady. It's just not working for me.
I don't know.
Because I feel like a lot of my homegirls that be like mad successful and independent, they've gotten to a space now where they're like, girl, I can't even do it no more. Dating be too exhausting. I got 3 cats. We kicking it. We in this bitch drunk and having a good time. We crunk, drunk.
I don't know. I think chips. I'm just not like, I really just, it'll come. I don't know. Because I think if I think about it too much, then maybe it might make, not even that. Because I do think about it sometimes.
Really?
I do. Yeah. Of course I want to get married. Of course I want to have kids. And like Kourtney Kardashian announcing her pregnancy at 44. I'm like, yes, bitch, I got 6 years. Like, well, 5 actually, because I'm going to be 39 in September. But it gives you a little boost, right? Because it's like, okay, I still have time. Like, this is possible. But I also just think that for me, like, having done the dating and seen what's out there and knowing who I am at this point, like, my life is very full. Like, I love, love, love the people that I'm surrounded by. And so when the husband comes along, he'll come along. But until then, I'm gonna kick it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I don't know. Like, even with my whole moments, I had my whole moments, and now I'm just kind of like,
yeah,
I think I'm done with
I
that
don't
too.
think of
Like,
my
I
hoe no
just
more.
don't
Yeah.
feel like
Once you
I'm.
get older, your hoe be like, I'm sleepy, bitch.
I'm
Good night.
tired, and I'm over it. And I also have OCD.
Come on, lay down.
Which makes it really difficult because you're just constantly like in your head about things. And so I can't. Like, I'm not going to do
That's
it.
so funny that you say that because you be like planning to be a hoe or something. You be like, you know what? Let me get outside. And then fall asleep on your hoe.
You fall asleep or you go outside and you be like, oh, these are not the conditions I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, I don't know if I want him in my house.
And
You can't come over. Bye.
let me just go back in the house. Like,
you ain't gonna
I don't
have
know.
that. Nah,
like,
that's easy.
I feel like I went on a date. It was last year. And
She like, it was last year.
I'm like trying to think, like, when was
working.
it? Yeah, it was last year. But I went on a date and he showed up to the date high. And this is the thing. I'm on a detox right now, but for like a lot of the time I'm a smoker. So I don't really mind that people smoke.
Right.
But you have shown up to this date gassed. Like, you're giggly. Like, I've dropped something on the floor, and when I stood up, I had on like high-waisted jeans and like a crop top. So the ass to hip ratio
he was giving.
is great. But he just was so like, he was gobsmacked.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And then he giggled about it, and he made like 15 comments.
Looking ass.
Like that kind of looking ass motherfucker. And then some guy from across the bar came and picked up the thing that I had dropped on the floor and gave it, sir.
He's so 2005. Get
Are
your
you
ass out of here.
You've never seen an ass? Are you
Ain't
for
nobody
real?
still getting high and going on dates.
You got high and came on this date. And so I was really frustrated about it because I kind of liked
2015.
him. I kind of liked him a little bit. But that turned me off so bad. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, that's not going to work. And the thing is, for me, like, it could have been like let's give him a second chance. But I don't know. Like, I feel like once I get turned off by a guy, I don't.
Yeah,
I was texting a guy. Yeah.
The independent lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which my homegirl was just saying the other day. I was talking to her and she was like, yeah, you know, at this point, I've been outside dating and I'm like happy in my life and I'm successful and I travel with my friends. She was like, now I just be like, when I want to fuck, I want to fuck. She's like, I go outside. And that is sad.
I don't even.
We've reached that.
Yeah.
Men have turned into...
I was talking
tricks.
To this guy.
We in the club throwing up our bottles in a section with a bunch of women and they twerking and we like, hey, you run it. Like, that's where we at. It's not looking good.
I was talking to this guy.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, so Dr. Umar was right. Y'all are the drama. Y'all are the problem. I was talking to this guy.
Well, definitely them dudes that he was talking to were like.
No, but let me tell you what this fool did. I actually texted you a screenshot of it because I was just so confused.
The podcast?
No. We were texting. He asked me what I was calling into my life for the day. And I said, organization, quality time with my family, like productivity. And he said, he sent me a photo of a bunch of women bent over with thongs on and a guy sitting behind them with a phone. And then said booty party, #booty party. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
LOL. And then you just keep it moving.
But
if he continues to be dumb.
No. See, but this is the thing. For me, this is one of those minuscule red flags because you have sexualized the conversation.
I'm terrible.
Yeah, you have sexualized the conversation that was in no way, shape, or form sexual.
Yeah.
But also like...
Yeah, we are on morning affirmations.
This was at 9 a.m. Like, I don't understand why I'm looking at asses and a man with a phone. Like, this man it was like a parade of like it was like I don't understand why you sent me this. And so for me it turned me out. Like, I was really into the conversation. We were rapid fire texting and you sent me this and things have come to a crashing halt because I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah.
And so when I called him out on it, he said something a couple hours later.
You
like,
didn't tell me what he said.
Well, so he said, like, I guess the booty party thing must have scared you off. And I said, no, it actually turned me off. I'm not exactly sure what I was supposed to say to that. And this is the gaslighting, guys. This is where the gaslight comes
no.
in. So instead of you saying, you know what, it was not appropriate, it was a weird joke, I'm sorry, you say you don't get my sense of humor. No, my sense of humor is fire as fuck. Your joke was weird. And so I just said, you know what, you're right, be well. And I blocked him. Because
not be well, and he was probably like, wait,
well,
what?
He probably
was like,
but like, I just don't understand why, if you asking me what I'm calling into my day and we talking about manifestation, why I'm looking at thonged asses. It pissed me off
really
so
weird
bad.
like that happened to me today with a guy that was like, I was like, this is what's happening outside. So I went to Runyon this morning. And I ran into a few friends. It was great. It was a good Runyon moment. But I ran into a friend and he was like, how you doing? But his how you doing was at my booty. He was like, you ain't never going. And I was like, oh, I've been working out. And he was just like, yeah. And then another girl walks past and she had on this like onesie type of thing. And she was curvy. She had a great body. But like we're talking after I'm like, wow, this turned sexualized in this very early. He watched her ass walk untied. Like I was just like, yeah. And then I'm doing this. He was like, wah, 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 wah. I was like, this is how men are now. And if you were to say something about that, he would have been like, oh, you doing too much.
The gaslight.
Yeah.
The gaslight would be swift and immediate.
But it was gross because I was just like, he doesn't even see that this opening of good morning turned into you talking about my ass and another ass walked past and you just not, I'm talking and you just looking at this whole ass.
And,
like,
so,
and your ass got big.
The frustration for them
it was weird.
is that they feel like we don't know how to take a joke, but I need you to explain the joke to me like I'm 5. Like, explain it to me actually like I'm fucking 2. Because you can't actually articulate what the humor in that is. You just wanted to send a picture of asses. And if you want to send a picture of asses, that's fine. Send it to the group text with your homies. But don't send it to me.
How long have y'all been talking?
We were just off the app.
Oh,
at which point I immediately deleted the app again. I'm going to tell you what. I'd be tired of this app, okay? I download this motherfucker on a Sunday and delete it on a Thursday. I cannot deal with it.
That's not mine.
And so I deleted the app again, but I just feel like instead of taking responsibility for how you show up poorly, a lot of men are just like, well, you did XYZ. And it's just kind of like, that's not what we're talking about right now.
I haven't been on apps in forever. I never.
It's not. No, don't go on there. Yeah.
They really, they ruin things for me. The last couple of times. And even when I have moments where I'm like, oh, I want to just see. They never are fun. Yeah, and everyone's really not attractive.
And I also think that that's
like
real.
You get on there and you be like, this ain't for me. I can't.
But I also think
pretend like I like this.
So I try to like have a variety of different photos. So I have photos of with braids, without braids, like just all kinds of stuff. I have a photo of me in like shorts and a tank top. Listen. I appreciate the guys who see the photo of the shorts and the tank top. And I know they like it. They probably screenshot the shit.
Oh my God.
But they don't like that photo. That's not the photo that they communicate or interact with. They go to a different photo and interact, okay? They're thinking. But there are men who will legitimately reach out to you on these apps about a specific photo and say some shit like, damn, your thighs.
Huh? I don't know. Does this work somewhere? Maybe it works.
But like, don't approach me like that. Like, yes, I'm like,
maybe it works.
I'm like, yes, I'm showing off. Like, yes, I look good and I want to show that I look good and I'm confident in my skin. But please do not sexualize me right off the gates. Like, maybe let's go on a date first. Like, I don't know. But then don't get on the date. And when I stand up to pick up something off the floor because you didn't stand up,
I think they're all trash.
Then you get into googly moogly giggly.
They're not good anywhere. Yeah. Even the nice ones. I've experienced that.
So this is why we're independent women.
The respectful ones. Yeah. The respectful ones aren't great either. I think they're all bad. We just got to figure out. I don't want to end it on this note, but I'm just like, I think we just got to like start choosing which you.
I've always said,
if you didn't find your man by 2001, good luck, baby.
Damn. I was 14.
It's rough.
16? I don't know. I was young.
It's very 17? Rough outside right now. I mean, yeah, high school.
Yeah.
Basically. Like in real life. And that part is what interests me so much about my life now, because I've been so independent and so into my career. Even people from my high school are like, oh my God, they knew from the jump. And a lot of the girls that I grew up with all got married like pretty much after high school, going into college. And that, honestly, I avoided that for years.
I avoided the kids for years.
I avoided that as well.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm in this space now where I'm like, you got to start choosing, or it's not, because I'm serious. Like my whole growing up, I've always wanted to be who I am. I've always worked hard towards that. I started this professionally in 1999. I was in leaving high school. I was doing stuff. And like, at that point, I was like, I never would stay in relationships. I was always like, if he trying to stop me, peace. Like I've been that the whole time. Even with my engagement, I remember the whole time of that relationship, he would always be like, you need to choose us. Your career always comes first. I've done that forever. And like now I'm like, okay, you have chosen your career first all the time. You've never really, looked at any other way of a man. And now I'm in this state of mind where I'm like, well, what happens if I decide? Yeah, because I've always
chose my relationship for a long time.
Oh, I've
always.
Because
I did that, I was like, at this point, now that I'm single, I'm like, I'm never doing that shit again.
And that's why we're here with yin and yang. Because and maybe that's why I'm running into the issues that I'm running into. Because now I'm more like really seeking it and looking open to it and whatever. Because I think a lot of it for me also came from where we are in entertainment. I was just telling my mother this. I'm like, I have sacrificed children, relationships.
But you have not sacrificed children.
Years,
you can still have children.
And now we're in a writing strike, something that is completely out of my control. But I'm probably like, I'm going in 22 years in this business. I've done different things. But I've been so just focused on just that. And any man that ever has gotten in the way of that, it has been like, yeah, you see you around, buddy. I mean, they follow me on Facebook, but they just like it when I have a successful thing. But like now I'm like, I don't want to necessarily be just independent anymore. I've done that for so long. So now I'm like, I'm open to where can that go? And I'm like willing to take risk now.
Okay. So yeah, we definitely, because I was in a long relationship and I prioritized the relationship and it was to my detriment. At this point, I feel like I've only been fully independent, like not splitting rent for 6 years. So I think I'm still in I'm okay being alone bag.
Wow.
Because I understand what it's like to be in a long relationship and to prioritize that. I also am of the mindset that I don't want it again until it checks the boxes.
Yeah.
Because having dated and been in situations since then, I find that I'm so much more at peace with myself when I'm not compromising on the things that are frustrating for me. So
but I've had so many relationships that check the boxes.
But did you have
But I never gave them justice to even see where they would go, because in my mind, of like anytime any man would try to slow me down, I'd be like, he's not good. You gotta go. Like that has been my entire life.
But I think if the feeling is that they're slowing you down, they did need to go. I think the right person
I feel like now maturely after looking back, I'm not saying they were for me, because what's for me will be with me.
Exactly.
But I feel like now from what I know, I never really was a compromiser. They weren't trying to stop me, but they were trying to get me in a place of compromising of where it works for the both of us. And for me, it was just like, I'm not going to do that. It's all about what it is that I'm going to do.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I think history has taught us that unfortunately, when we allow ourselves to be financially dependent or emotionally dependent on other people, but specifically men, the fallout of that is sometimes abuse. It's sometimes you get left with nothing when it all falls apart.
And that's part of the reason why I've always been that way. Having a mom that was very independent and like how my father was like controlling as far as like money and things like that.
Like financial abuse is a real ass thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing that made me be like, nobody's stopping me.
Exactly.
Like I'm to the moon with it.
That comes from a place of learning the lesson early. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think now your focus has shifted and you want something different, and that's fine.
Also, I feel like now I've learned what success is.
Okay.
At the time.
Say more.
at the time of my career, you don't really know what you're getting into when you first become an entertainer. You have this perception of what you think it is by what you see on television, and you just think to yourself like, oh, I want to be Neil Long, or I want to be whoever inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what success really looks like until you're in the journey. And I've done several different things. Like I said, like in 1999, like and like I'm old, but in high school, I was like a dancer and I toured. So I was doing that for years, and I toured like all over the world, like doing that. And at that time, when I first used to watch the Aaliyah videos and watching how those dancers were in that and how I wanted to be that, I was like, oh, that's such a glamorous life. And then when I got in it, I was like, oh, this is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this looks like. And this is what you get paid. And this is how they take the taxes. And this is who you got to pay for that agent. And this is how you got to do all this. So then you learn and you continue on. And I switched from that to, you know, now as a comedian, and then like and what I go through now as a comic, where there are things that I would see other comedians that I thought that were hugely successful that I couldn't wait to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm there and I'm like, wait, they were making that kind of money?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what this looks like.
Yeah.
You know, or as an actor on television shows, I'm like, oh, I got to be on this set for this amount of time.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a space where I'm like, you're successful. This is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get better as time goes on and you'll make more money, but like, you got to live a life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live your life where you're like, oh, I'm just chasing this and thinking it's going to look like this or it's going to look like that.
You got to make room for other things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is where I'm at now, where I'm like, okay, when you find someone that you feel like you're in tune with and you want to be there, don't brush it off because you're like, well, I got to stay open because I might.
Well, so this is why
this is where I'm at now.
Try to be, as much as I know that I'm an anxious / avoidant attacher.
Mm-hmm.
If I find somebody that I actually have real feelings for, I will try to be open and more like just vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's important to show people when you care about them. I think it's important that you make sure that they know that. Mm-hmm. However, if it gets to a point where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is not going to work and you have to walk away. I never am going to walk away from a situation feeling frustrated that I was vulnerable and it didn't work out, because I just feel like, to your point, if it's for you, it's going to be for you and it will work out with some other person or in some other way eventually.
Right.
But yeah, like I think we just have to be at the place where not necessarily we're pursuing a love or a partner, but we're open to it. So like for me, I'm laser focused right now on my own career. Mm-hmm. I'm open.
Yeah.
If the man comes, he comes. And this what I be saying, the biggest testament to sexuality not being a choice is that women are attracted to men. Because y'all are the fucking worst.
Oh my God.
Like literally.
And on that note, independent women hate men.
Like, no, but for real though, like they're the worst. And so the fact that we are still attracted to them should let everybody know that we're not choosing this shit. I choose to be gay if I could.
Oh God.
Because women are just 10 times better. No, but we are though. Could you imagine if you were just, no, but don't think of it in that context. Don't think of it in a sex context.
Oh.
Think of it in a context of if you were being emotionally fulfilled and provided for by another woman. Like, think about how, listen. No. Because,
we gotta wrap it up.
We do have to wrap it up, but I want you to take away the sex part. Like, if you were.
Oh, that's hard for me. I'm gonna need penis.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
She's struggling.
Yeah.
If you look at, like, we're attracted to men, that's just our sexuality. Right?
I like the way they smell.
We're straight, right? However, if you think about how women show up in relationships, it would be much more advantageous to us if we were gay. Because we show up for women. Women show up in relationships. We're givers. We take care of things. We're talking about independent. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we are the people who do the things. We make sure that everything is getting taken care of, that there's food, that the bills are paid. And so the man might, if you're lucky, you might be with somebody who's providing a coin. Okay. But you are the person who is making sure that the kids get to school on time, and we have this meeting and we have this parent-teacher conference. Like, women do this.
I might be drama. I need a little something got to be off put.
No,
I'm gonna get bored.
She's missing it.
I'm gonna need something to go wrong.
But what I'm saying is basically like the choice. If the choice were there, if it really were a choice, a lot more women would be choosing to be gay, because women show up.
They are, aren't they?
No, you don't choose to be gay.
Oh.
That is not a choice. No, people are.
There's a lot of that going on in LA.
It's not a choice.
This week, I'm about to eat a pussy.
But I feel like that just has always existed, though.
Oh,
it's not like somebody suddenly woke up and said, today I think I'm gay. No.
I know a lot of that, but that's on next episode.
That might be the next episode, but I want you to know nobody wakes up at 35s and decides they're gay.
Perfectly. Like,
you're gay or you're bi and you maybe suppress it for a little bit. And then at some point you say, fuck these people, I'm going to be who I am. But like the idea that people are choosing this and you can just choose to be straight or you can just choose to be like not trans is crazy because like your DNA is not that. Your biology is not that. Like you are gay or you are straight or you are trans or you are whatever you are or whoever you are. We don't get to choose that. But the point is, if we could choose that, more women could be gay because women just treat people better. That's the point. We do. We just treat people better. Like, if I could choose not to have to be in situations where I'm abused physically or emotionally, like, it's just a lot less prevalent, I feel like, with other women.
Toxic me is like, well, for a back, a nice wide back.
You get a wide back in a woman.
And that's an episode. And that's the episode of The Girls Want to Know this week. Please leave comments at the bottom, like and share, and let us know what you want to talk about at all times, guys. All the women, independent, throw your back out, Batman. All right, good night, everybody.
Throw your back out, Batman. Okay, bye, y'all.
I like a back, baby.